Hello everybody, welcome back to Kitchen Sink Mod Pack. Today we're playing Kitchen Sink Mod Pack. I've gotten us this storage crate and, well, actually a bunch of other storage crates as well. But mainly this one, because this one is full of all the rubbish from downstairs. Threw it even mined out of the ground. Our steel pickaxe broke. And so I'm coming back up here today because I need to do some stuff. And, well, actually, last episode we got started on warp drives. It's going to cost a lot of energy to power our warp ship, our first one, and so I am not too sure about like what we're gonna do for that. I know we'll be using HBM mod for some form of energy. As far as 112 version goes, HBM mod is better than IC2 on 112 because reactor is simpler, reactor is decent. It's a fission reactor. But we'll have to build such a device, and I don't want to do that right now. The other option is to use a watch reactor. I don't want to do that either, so I guess our first spaceship will probably be diesel powered. Regardless, it is also not an option because diesel power is expensive. So all of this is like all of the ore I've pulled out of the ground so far. And I've also got all this extra stuff, which I'm going to dump here. Boron, thorium, random stuff. I'll put these in the corner, and then these guys can go up here. Except for nickel. Nickel's actually a pretty common ore because it's in 2 actual mods, so... So I have created this barrel, and also I've created this tool here, the configurator, which will allow me to do a variety of different configurations for mechanism stuff. This barrel here is made with these 3 slabs and like 3 of the treated wood, or like 5 of the treated wood. Here, let me show you how to make it right now. So if you want to make this thing, you just go like this. And now you have a wooden barrel. And wooden barrel is actually pretty useful for storing all of this mud, or whatever that is. It's creosote. And then you can use this and actually make more of the wood. I'm pretty sure using this thing. Let's give that a shot, because I have not tried that. I've used the universal fluid tanks for that, which I have stored somewhere. Probably here. Yes. I probably should give more crates there for storage. But anyway, here's our creosote oil. And we do something like this. As you can see, it does not work. However, if I just put this back down and use the universal fluid tanks, I can fill them up to like 5 and it'll just work. Check it out. Oh, well, that one didn't fill all the way. He's partially full. I wish the HBM mod 1710 version could fill the universal fluid tanks like that. It's actually quite nice. But let me throw this into here, and you can see I can just make a bunch of these, and now I have the ability to do building stuff, and, well, I mean, I'm going to save these ones because I'm going to hold on to them for a later date. But also, we're not considering the fact that there's also immersive engineering, which I don't have the book for yet. Let's get the immersive engineering book today, and then get started on immersive engineering. Wait, I do need to do the mechanism or processing line. And I can get started making that today. So mechanism has this ore processing line that gives you 6 times ore processing, which is essentially the same as HBM mod 1710. HBM mod 112 does not even have the electrolyzer, I don't think. So we'll get started making this thing. The enrichment chamber is the first part you need, and then the second part will be the whatchamacallit. I believe it is the crusher, but also the purification chamber, which will cost 3 pieces of osmium to make this. Which is not too bad, actually, now I think about it. But we will need to make those 3 pieces of osmium. Let's go ahead and do that. And to actually make our osmium last longer, we could have been doing this the whole time, but I just have not been doing that. What does it also need for purification chamber too? Because the purification chamber comes after the crusher. What is it called? None of these. None of these are correct, but those are all factories, so those are not the purification chamber. The purification chamber is somewhere up here. Enrichment chamber can be made into the purification chamber using osmium ingots, which also costs, like, a lot. So we'll need to make that as well. I think we might as well just do, like, 10 pieces of this through the system and make 20 osmium ingots. As you can see, this will generate power. It will consume our power. How much power are you consuming? Not very much. They get very expensive later on, but once we have them fully upgraded, they'll probably be super good. I'm not too sure, though. The other thing we want to do is actually get the extraction machine today as well. But that will also require a mechanism circuit because mechanism has compatibility with IC2. So we'll be able to just kind of bypass some of the IC2 stuff. Which is nice, because then I don't have to use rubber for stupid things. But anyway. I forgot to mention that I've made a tough alloy chest plate and the armor modification table for it, so that way I can have the meteor charm on. Because meteor charm is something that is actually, I needed that. You see, they are coming, the meteors, they are coming for us, and I do not want to have that happen. So, I've dealt with that problem by making this thing. But anyway, I also have made this tough alloy X to cut down these trees better. Check it out. Very efficient cutting down the trees. This tree is connected to the other tree next to it, in it. Half the other tree is gone now. That's just brilliant. Well, I'm going to be cutting down all of these trees today because I need to cut them down to make a beautiful view of the seabed and everything. I don't know why. Maybe I'll also plant them again some other place. Somewhere else. So now the enrichment chamber is done, we can actually probably make one of those furnaces. We'll just make a bunch of the mechanism stuff today. That's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. We'll now move this piece over a block. This will go to here. We'll make a smelting factory here. But for now, we'll just have enrichment chamber factory here. Or just regular enrichment chamber. Crusher is going to be the next thing that we make. And that's going to cost us a little bit of iron as well. Because that is just what it's going to cost. So let's go ahead and get like, I don't know, like 20 pieces of this going. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Let's get 10 of them. Actually, you know what? Yeah, let's definitely do 20. That is perfectly valid. Because each one gives me 2. And I'll have 18 left over, so I mean, it's fine. The coal is going, the charcoal, the creosote is going well. I'm holding on to the wood for now because I don't know if I'm going to use it for the base or not. I'm thinking I'm going to do a combination of Tinker's bricks for the base and those. The only problem with the Tinker's workshop is that it does not have compatibility with any electricity mods, so I cannot power the thing using energy. Alright, so we should have some mechanism stuff already in here, which means I just need to make like one of these. What did I use this thing for? Oh, I use this for making the configurator, correct. Configurator can cost like 4 iron ingots to be made into these enriched alloy material. But anyway, the crusher is here, and it also costs just that, some steel. And do we have the steel on hand? That is actually the more limiting factor for all of our production. We do not have the steel on hand, but they'll be fine for now. I will be able to produce more steel in a bit. I will be able to produce, like, what, 8 pieces of steel? Just do it like this, 4 ingots, and I'll be able to turn that into steel using the HBM way. Well, not the true HBM way, the 1710 HBM way, which is goofy, but it's working. It's working for some reason. It's useful for us. Iron furnace would come really in handy right about now, but anyway. For actually smelting stuff. Steel furnace would come in handy, actually. That would be a brilliant idea for us to make, but we have our 6 charcoal right here. The creosote from this cannot be used as fuel in the furnace, which is useless. It's just compared to the stuff from whatchamacallit, GregTech, it is useless. Not as good as GregTech immersive engineering is. Not as good. Will not be as good. Could not be as good as GregTech. I will also begin making the advanced chips for the other thing, but this will not make enough. We will need a lot more than this. We will need to process the redstone through the enrichment chamber as well, and then do stuff like that. But that's while I'm working on the coal and to steel. We should probably set up a furnace for this as well, but that is the steel powder. I could cast this out of the actual thing. I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to just make a furnace. Furnace is cheap. Furnace is easy. Furnace is nice and good. Okay, let's go and do it. I already had like 3 furnaces in there. Like, what the heck? What the heck? Here is our new smelting setup. We'll call this the kitchen. It is part of the kitchen sink mod pack, of course, so why not call it kitchen? We have our glass smelting, which now I can make the actual crushing machine. But at first I gotta make lava buckets, which we'll have to go down and fill them. But it is fine. It will be pretty easy. All I need to do now is make these things. And I need to make... I'll make 2 of these, because I know I will make 2 of these machines anyway. So yeah. Because we have to go through the enrichment chamber as well today to actually make the purification chamber. So that's going to have to happen. Now, hopefully I will get my buckets back, because if I don't get my buckets back, I'm going to be a little unhappy. A little bit salty. Come on, get it here. Yes. This should do. So all I gotta do is do this, and I get steel casings. Bucket of lava is the next hard thing, but it's really easy because we have already found a lot of lava. We have not even been to the Nether yet in this playthrough, which is kind of interesting. Here's the dangerous part. We gotta line up our actual landing spot with right there. Boom. You thought I was gonna die, didn't you? No, I have slime boots on. Of course I won't die. Grab this. Boom. And this. Hopefully we'll find diamonds down there if we get enough lava out. You know, I could actually drain all of the lava into barrels and stuff, which would be insane and useful all at the same time. I should probably do that. But... Alright, so with the lava, I can now construct the actual thing. This is actually the easiest part of this machine, is that it costs 2 basic circuits. And then one of these things. And then it's surrounded with redstone. So making this thing is actually what I would consider the easiest part. This is the crusher, and it can crush things and do other stuff other than just ore processing. But for now, it is just going to sit here doing nothing. The mechanism thing is going to go here. We're now going to make another set of these. And while that is happening, I will now turn iron ingots into enriched iron alloy, since that is something else I'm going to need. And also I'm going to take this furnace. So, while we're waiting on this thing, we will just... It's done. Perfect. It's time to make the... I will need 2 for each one. And then I will need 4 for the outside. So there you go. That's what I will need. And that is exactly what I have in there. It even gave back the buckets, which is a fabulous recipe considering mechanism I would expect to just take the buckets, yoink them out of existence like it normally does. But hey, it's perfect that it didn't. Now the first machine you usually get is the enrichment chamber, and with this thing, we're going to have to make it again. So, we'll need 2 iron ingots. We'll set those up already, because we already have them. We already have the circuits ready, so they are basically good. And I can just do this as is. And this will get us to tier 3, or proc, which is fantastic. All I've got to do now is wait on the last part of this thing. This should cost an extra thing. What do I mean by that? Well, let me find where the actual purification chamber is. It costs osmium ingots instead of the iron ones, so that is why it costs an extra thing. I need to set up a crafting station, like a dozen of these guys, because I use the crafting tables a lot. Let's see here. We got our alloys are done. Now it is time to put it all together. So we get these guys, and then we can take them, put them like this. With these guys, and these guys on the corners, this guy on the edges, and now I'm able to do the tier 3 ore processing. Although there is one catch: you need to have a certain chemical for this.